and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dr. LaTrice Montgomery, and the purpose of this channel is to discuss marijuana from a scientific perspective, as well as a host of other psychology-related research and topics. Now, if you follow me and you've seen my other videos, especially my day in the life videos, you'll know that I have what's called a top 3+1 method, where I prioritize 3 things that I need to get done for the day, and then add a self-care related thing in. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you need to go over to my day in the life videos, check those out, and then come back over here to this video. But basically, with that 3+1 method, it's really helped me to stay organized and stay productive. And one of the things that I do to also help me stay productive on some of my larger goals is to actually write out kind of these larger lists. And so in the video, I talked about how I have a bunch of Post-it notes all over my office, everywhere. I have like sticky notes on my computer. It's a hot mess, y'all. I really got a problem. I need to work on that. But I'm working on it, and I'm trying to get organized and stay a little bit better about that. But basically, they really help me to kind of think about my goals, and particularly as it relates to larger goals that I have for each month, as well as goals that I have for the year. So instead of having a long list, which I have on a piece of paper that's kind of taped to the wall in my office, I'm actually going to do a vision board this year. And I'm going to do a digital vision board because, arts and crafts, it's not my ministry, it's not my gift. Got to operate in my gift, and that ain't it. So I know that, so I'm going to go digital and just show you all how I do my digital vision board to kind of help me stay on top of things. Particularly as I think about my digital vision board for 2021, thinking about the goals that I've set as it relates to my career. So what exactly is a vision board? And a vision board is just basically a visual representation of all your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, things that you want to do. It's just a visual representation and kind of help you stay focused and to stay encouraged, particularly in times where you may feel like giving up. I definitely know I have those times when I get papers rejected, or grants are rejected, or I work so hard on something and it just seems like it just falls apart, or it doesn't go as planned. And sometimes I get discouraged, but to be able to have something visually that I can look at to remind me of why I'm doing this in the first place is helpful. So that's sort of my reasoning for creating a vision board. But before I show you Canva, which is what I used in order to create the vision board, or what I plan to use, I want to just kind of give you some things to think about before we jump in and start looking at the text and images and things like that. So first and foremost, you want to write the vision and make it plain. So before we get our images, before we get our text together, we want to think about what are our goals. And that are kind of our larger overall goals, as well as some of the smaller goals that we have. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to be talking about career goals. But as we know, there are so many more areas to life than our career. So you can do this and create one for, health-related goals, spiritual goals, financial goals, whatever might fit, your needs best. So whatever it is, write the vision, make it plain. And that actually segues nicely into the second thing to think about, and that is creating, what kind of goals do you create? And creating those goals that are what are known as SMART goals. You probably heard this term before. It's actually a mnemonic acronym that's commonly used in many different settings. And people have different variations of what they say, each letter means. But I'll tell you kind of how I use it and think about it. And again, this is just one approach. There might be others. But SMART, so the S stands for specific. So back to my example of career goals. One of the career goals that I have is to publish papers, which makes sense because as a part of my job is to disseminate research. So a big part of dissemination is publishing papers. So my career goal is to publish papers in 2021. I want to be specific about that. So not only saying publish papers, but also say I want to publish 5 papers. So being very specific about what it is exactly that I want to accomplish. And even going so far as to get into the details of how I'm going to do that. So I want to maybe write out kind of some smaller sub-goals or shorter-term goals. So maybe that means I write for, 1 to 2 hours each day, at least. or maybe I collaborate with other researchers who are doing similar research so that I can expand my research opportunities. So whatever that is, I want to make that very clear. So not only the goal, but how I'm going to get there. So being very specific about it. The second piece of the M is measurable. So how will I know that I've accomplished that goal? So in the example that I give, it's very easy. Once I've published 5 papers or more, I know that I've met or exceeded that goal. Then there's the A, which means attainable. So based on your money, your time, your resources, and things that you have and what your goals are you able to attain those things? And only you know the answer to that. And if your answer is no, you don't have those resources to attain those goals, then you might want to think about, well, maybe I need to set some goals around attaining those things in order to be able to set some of these other goals. So again, that's something that you know and something that you can kind of think about and reflect on as you put your goals together. Then there's the R, which means relevant. So is it relevant to your overall goals, your objective, your purpose, and whatever it is that you're doing? For me, when we think about, the publication, of course it's relevant. It's relevant because, as I said, as part of my job description is disseminating research, but it's also relevant to my overall goal in life, my overall purpose, or why I think I'm here on earth, and you can get deep into that kind of conversation, but really using this as a reflection exercise, so making sure that it's relevant. And then the T is time-based. So essentially that means put a date on it, y'all. You got to put a date on it. So for this vision board that we're creating for the purpose of this video is for the year. So I want to be able to look, across the year and be able to say that I've accomplished specific goals. So whenever you set your goals, you want to make sure that you put a time on it, put a date on it. Don't just say, oh, I want to do this, and whenever it happens, it happens. No. You need to start thinking specifically about, the time frame of it. Some people have even added an ER to that, so smarter goals, which means kind of evaluate and review. So not only setting those goals, but being able to go back and, let's say at the end of 2021, being able to reflect and say, did I actually accomplish my goals? If not, why didn't I? What were some of the barriers and the challenges? What are some things that I might do different or better the next year? Or if I did accomplish my goals, what worked well? How might I apply those strategies to other things that I'm doing? So really just using it as a time to reflect on kind of your goals and where you want to be, things that are happening for you and happening in your life. Just gives you a good time to think about those things. So again, write the vision, make it plain, think about those SMART goals, and keep all of those things in mind as you kind of pull together the images and things that you want to use for your vision board. And then the last part of this, again, as I said, I'm going to focus on career for the example here, but you can do this in any other area. And another thing to think about is you have to think about your own personal preferences when you make your vision board. So one of the things that I know about myself is that I'm a person where I like to keep things private until it's permanent. But that's just my personal philosophy. And part of it is because I know that if I share certain things out loud, sometimes it makes me a little bit more anxious because I'm like, now not only am I performing and trying to do things for myself, but then I have other people that might ask, well, what about this? Or how far along are you on this? And they might be well-intentioned, but that makes me more anxious. And so I know that about myself. So I tend to kind of do things, and don't really talk about it until it's secure, secret until it's secure. That's my approach. But there are other people who, during this process of reflection and putting goals together, they really enjoy, kind of having like a vision board party, and they're kind of talking with other people about their goals and their plans, and they kind of feed off of that energy. And so you have to know what kind of person you are and know exactly, what suits you best in your personality. So keep all of that in mind as you put together your vision board. So what I'm going to do for the rest of this video is actually show you how I use Canva to make my digital vision board. As I said, I'm kind of more of a private until permanent kind of person, so I'm going to actually show you like an example of one, but it's not going to be my actual one. But I'm going to show you my actual vision board at the end of 2021 so that we can revisit and kind of evaluate and review to see did I actually meet my goals. So let's go ahead and go over to Canva. Okay, so this is Canva, and the goal is really not for you to actually see fully my screen because I know it's difficult to see. But basically, I just wanted to share with you that the website is Canva, Canva.com. And basically, it's a free graphic design platform, so you can use it to create social media posts, presentations, anything, you name it. And as I mentioned, you know, arts and crafts and like being very creative, it's just not my ministry. So because of that, I use this and rely on it heavily for presentations and other things. So what you can do is when you go to canva.com, I'm already signed in, so my platform looks a little different because I have actually some things that I've already created on here. But you sign in, it's free, so that's important to note. It is free. They do have a pro version that you can purchase, but this is free, the version that I use. And you can basically say what it is that you're trying to create. So for me, right now, I'm just going to say a desktop wallpaper. And that is because I'm actually planning to put this on my desktop, the actual vision board, so that I can have it and look at it pretty much every day when I'm logging into my computer. But you can also create a cover for like your phone or just like a general PDF, or maybe if you want to share it like on Instagram or Facebook or somewhere else, you can also create images and specific layouts for that as well. So again, the idea, I know it's hard to see, so the idea is not for you to see everything on my screen, but really just to kind of give you a general sense of what the layout looks like. So they give you some templates that they already start with. So what you see here is just a whole bunch of templates that you can choose from. Or you could just do a blank desktop wallpaper. So I'll just do a blank one for the sake of this. And you can actually put in, so you'll see here on the left hand side of the screen, it's great actually if you have your computer while you're looking at this video. It might be good to pull it up and we can kind of look at this together. But basically your shell will look like this, and it'll be different obviously if you pick a different template. But they have all kind of templates that are already preset, so you can start there if you want to. Or you can upload images. I already have some images here for other things that I'm working on. So you can upload them from your actual device, your phone, or from, you know, your Instagram account or wherever your images might be. You can also upload videos, which I found to be helpful, and it really helps to create a nice touch to some of the projects that I'm working on. There's also elements, so you can, you know, add in like animated pieces, shapes, and different arrows and things like that, as well as text that you can, like general text that you can add, and there's some that's more graphic. They have some that are more like background, so you can actually like set the background. Like for example, let's just pick this, and you know, I pick this image, and then all of a sudden this is my background. So then I'm able to actually kind of cut and paste things on top of here. So basically what I'm saying is that it's very user friendly. I hope you're gathering that just from looking at this. And you can use whatever template you want to use, but I really like it because when I go to actually think about so for example, with my goal around publishing papers, I want to publish papers. So one of the things that I might do is I might go to photos and I might put in, you know, let's just say paper. So they have, you know, some of the images have pro next to it, and those are the ones that cost. So I tend to stay away from those. But, you know, you can always purchase them. They're not that expensive. But there are some that are free, and so I tend to usually go for those. So I might have like a, you know, piece of paper on mine, or I can actually even I have, you know, certain papers that I published already, so I could even go in and actually upload one of the papers that I already have, a PDF file I already have, and add that as well. So I can do that. Let's see, just for the sake of, they also have like different kind of, like I said, templates. So they have some like more like motivational ones. So this one says never give in and never give up. You can kind of add images on top of here. So, you know, just as an example of a career one, you could think about, like I said, for me, papers, or I might add like a PowerPoint symbol for presentations, or I could add in, people or like animated people, because I also want to hire more research assistants. So that might be something that I put on the vision board. So I just wanted to just bring you here briefly and just show you that this is a tool that's available to you that I would recommend for if you decide to do a digital vision board. But of course, you can always use, Excel or Word or any other kind of platform. It doesn't have to be Canva. But this is just something that, in case you are a little bit challenged like me when it comes to being creative and you need some inspiration, this is a good tool, a good place to start. So just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that was helpful for you. So if you decide to do a digital vision board and you want to share, or you have questions or different things that you want to talk about related to your vision board, please feel free to leave your comments down below. I always check the comments, and I'm more than happy, more than willing to respond and interact with you, and definitely want to see your vision boards, or at least hear your thought process in creating yours.